kind of feel like this is gonna tell me my future or something. Alright, so today it is Foundation Friday. I saw this ball on Instagram and felt like I needed to try this thing. This is a foundation ball. This thing just reminds me of a Magic 8 Ball. Remember when Magic 8 Balls were the shit? So this is the LA Splash Ultra Defined Cream Foundation. Comes in a little nice slide box. So I did kind of a double take when I went on their website to order this because this product retails for $28. LA Splash Cosmetics. Let's let that sink in. That is the price of a high-end foundation. I have absolutely no idea why it's priced that high for LA Splash, but of course, the week after I order this is on sale for half off. So it's actually on sale for $14 right now on their website. If I'm gonna take a wild guess, not enough people were buying it at the $28 price point. You get 30 milliliters of product in here, which is about 1 fluid ounce. This product comes in 12 shades. I have the lightest shade, Macadamia. So I'm gonna start swatches right here so you can see how this shade compares to some of the other lightest shades of foundation I have. All right, so I'm filming swatches a different day and my good camera totally crapped out on me, so I'm just filming this in natural light with my vlog camera. But starting on the far left is the LA Splash Foundation in Macadamia. Next over is Urban Decay Naked Skin Foundation in 0.5. Third over right in the middle is Dermacol 208. Next is Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless in 110. And then last is the Revlon Youth Fix Foundation in the lightest shade 110. And I also have a review on that. So let's read some of the claims on their website. It says it's an oil-free longwear matte foundation, superb coverage for a velvety soft finish that will last. It's supposed to keep the skin shine-free and provide full coverage without being chalky. But if you're new here, this is where I do a new first impression video every single Friday on my channel, 6 p.m. Pacific time. I do finally have the Ordinary foundation. It finally came in after weeks and weeks. So the Ordinary foundation will be coming in next week's Foundation Friday video. If you want to see what I think of the LA Splash foundation and how it applies and wears throughout the day, you're in the right place. Just keep watching. All right, so I've already washed, moisturized, and primed using my 2 usuals, which will be linked down below. I've only had half a cup of coffee. This needs to change right now. So one half of my face, I'm gonna use a dampened sponge like I usually do. This is actually a different Morphe one. My go-to Morphe one is that weird pointed one. This one's from the same line, it's just shaped differently, so I wanna try it out. Since this is a cream foundation, I'm either gonna go in with my e.l.f. brush or my Sigma F82, depending on what I feel. So my skin has a lot to cover up right now. I'm breaking out pretty much everywhere. I have a lot of smaller like whiteheads going on right now. It started happening a few days ago, so I don't know if it was a reaction to a product I used or what. Who knows these days, who knows. Right now it's 7:49 in the morning. It actually doesn't feel as cheapy, plasticky as I thought. It feels pretty heavy. And then there's a little sealant thing on here. I haven't looked at the color at all, so I'm really hoping this will match because I have to leave the house today. We'll see. I'm gonna be out all day today, so fingers crossed this is a wearable shade. This is supposed to be full coverage. Ooh, it feels kind of cooling. I think I'm just gonna use my e.l.f. brush to start. Okay, I definitely need more. It feels like it's drying really, really quickly. It would work in sections because it gets a little stiff to blend out. But for a cream, it feels lightweight. Covered most of my acne. There's still a little bit coming through down my neck. It looks matte, and it feels like it just totally set into my skin in about 10 seconds. I love foundations that I feel like I don't have to set with a powder, just because on my skin, if I don't have to set something with a powder, it typically looks a lot more natural, the texture on my skin. I have combination skin for those of you who are new. So I get oily throughout the day. My primer has been really helping with that, the Hylamide. I always want to say Hymalide. I definitely have some foundations that I don't need to powder my skin at all, and my oil holds up fine. It almost feels a bit dry when you're blending it out, at least with the brush. I don't not like the way it feels. It just doesn't feel very creamy or moisturizing. So here's before. And here's after. I would say this is full coverage if you use a decent amount like I did. On that first application when I put less on, it wasn't totally covering, but with this amount I got full coverage. So let's go ahead and try this side with a sponge. I feel like it's hard to kind of get right around my nose with the sponge. Doesn't look quite as full coverage with the sponge, and I used a similar amount of product, I feel like. Yeah. So I'm definitely liking this one better with a brush. So I'm gonna go back to the brush and add a bit more to get the same kind of coverage. This side with a sponge, I got about medium coverage. Whenever I say that, I get people being like, what are you talking about? It's totally full coverage. But trust me, when I'm looking in my mirror, I can see freckles. I can see my acne coming through. It is building up fine, so that's good. It doesn't get cakey or weird texture or anything. I wouldn't say it has a powder finish, but it totally sets down. And a lot of times with foundations like that, it can get weird when you try to build it, but this one is not. It's totally fine. Ooh, that looks good now. If you don't have acne, this will probably look totally full coverage on you. I still can see some of my acne coming through, which is fine because if I wasn't doing a first impression, I would go in with some spot concealer on top. By the way, I definitely like the other Morphe sponge better. I'm not that into this one at all. Right now, it looks good. It looks a little bit heavy around my nose. I'm hoping that doesn't crease more throughout the day. But the center of my forehead looks good. I'm not going to set my face with this one because I don't feel like I need to. I feel like I could blend product on top. It's supposed to help control oil throughout the day. Right now, it's 8:01. We're going to call it check-in time, 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to do the rest of my makeup and I will be right back. Okay, so it's now 8:27. It was moving kind of slow. I didn't set my whole face. I just used my Laura Geller Balance and Brighten just a super tiny bit on the center of my face, just to brighten up the center of my face a bit and make it even to under my eyes. This shade is totally wearable for me. The more I've had it on, it's been on for a half hour now, and it's just kind of melted into my skin and it looks really beautiful now. So I like it even more right now. It's looking really nice. I'm gonna tell you guys what's on the rest of my face. I used the Flower Beauty Lift and Sculpt Contouring Palette. I used the blush and the bronzer shade in here. I really like the tone of this bronzer. Both of these are extremely pigmented. You have to really blend and work with it. Highlight, I used the Makeup Revolution Trio that I mentioned in my favorite highlighters video. That went up on Wednesday of this week, so I'll leave that down below if you missed it. But this is the Ultra Fair kit, and I just use that middle shade right there. I mean, for eyeshadow, I use the same contour kit just in my crease. Lid, I just use this light matte shade Supermom from the Tartlette palette. My normal brows and eyeliner, and then lips are Colourpop She Bad. Kind of missed like part of my lip over here. So check-in time is 8 o'clock. Next check-in I do will be in natural lighting, so I will see you guys in a few hours. All right, so it's now 1:10 p.m. in the afternoon, so it's been on for 5 hours. I haven't even looked at it yet. Whoa! Rachel and I are thrifting right now. What do you think of it?
It looks normal, but you can see some of your acne.
It looks a little bit heavy around my nose, I feel like, and I noticed creasing on my upper lip like an hour in, but I feel like overall it looks nice. I'm not getting a whole lot of oil coming through. It does look dewier though than when I first put it on. It doesn't look totally matte. So far so good. Any other thoughts?
Dewy. That's
Dewy. Yeah, it does look a bit dewy. We're gonna go thrift in Value Village. We're in Lake City, I think. So I'll check in with you guys at the end of the night. All right, so it's now 6:30, so foundation's been on for over 10 hours, 10 and a half hours now. So I did a clip in my car about a half hour ago, as you can see, so I'm gonna insert that right here. But for being on for 10 and a half hours without setting my face with a powder, I've definitely had foundations look much worse. I wouldn't say I'm overly oily. I'm definitely dewy, and I feel like I've been dewy for the majority of the day. If you have more oily skin, I don't think this one's gonna keep you super, super matte on its own, but I don't mind it. I feel like it's just kind of a healthy dew right now. I don't look overly oily, but it definitely is breaking down in certain areas. So if you look really up close on the center of my forehead, you can see right here it is breaking down a little bit. And then I don't really like how it's been looking around my nose and my upper lip the whole day. Like I said, the creasing started pretty early on and it has oxidized. It's really hard to see. I'm gonna try and back up to give more accurate color for a second. It's a little hard to tell, but it has oxidized and it's about a shade too dark. I'm a little bit sunburned right now. Overall, I think it looks pretty good. I mean, you guys have seen much more disastrous foundations on my skin. Would I reach for this one again? On its own, I don't know. I feel like there's a little bit of something missing for me. I think next time I would mix in a tiny bit lighter and more matte. I might mix in like the Lancome 24-hour Tint Idol Ultra and just see how it mixes with something like that. I see this one being best for normal skin. Normal combo could probably work because, you know, I'm not a total mess right now. And keep in mind, I didn't set my whole face with powder. Not totally in love and definitely don't dislike this one. I do like that for the majority of the day, I do feel like it looked pretty skin-like. I wouldn't say that this one looks super heavy or anything on the skin. So I think I'm gonna just try mixing this one and see what I think of it. Do you need to run out and get it? I definitely would not say for $30. For $14, it might be worth giving a go. If you guys enjoyed this video and you like Foundation Friday, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Let me know down below what other foundations you guys want to see. Like I said, the Ordinary foundation is coming, and I also still need to do the Matchco app. I need to do that. If there are any others, let me know. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.